started here. Hello and good evening or afternoon, I guess. It's a little tricky at 5 o'clock. My name is Erin Ruggieri, and I'm one of the marketing coordinators and student recruitment officers at BCIT for Health Sciences programs. And we really appreciate you joining us this evening for our online information session for our new micro-credential on nursing in Canada, legal, ethical, and equity perspectives. So again, we really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to go over a few little housekeeping details before we move forward. The first being, if you could please stay on mute for the duration of the presentation. It's very important we kind of stay muted so that we eliminate too much background interference and background noise for presenters, so that everyone can kind of hear what's being said clearly. If you have any comments or questions, we will have time for you to ask those in the chat and at the end of our presentation. If you see the chat feature on your screen, it's right near the top. If you're on a laptop, you can type questions or comments in there as we go, but we will be looking at those towards the end of the presentation. We always like to share and acknowledge that BCIT campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And I know a number of us are coming from different areas of the province or even outside of BC today. So if you could please take a moment to silently acknowledge the part of the territory that you're coming from as well. That'd be great. I am working from home this evening, so I am coming from the territory of the Coquitlam people. So our agenda this evening, we'll have our welcome and introduction that I'm doing right now, and then we'll have an overview of our microcredential, some course overview information, and at the end we'll have some time for Q&A. So again, I do see some people have already typed into the chat. That's wonderful. We will be pulling questions out of the chat to try and answer at the end of our presentation here tonight. And again, if you could just stay on mute for the duration of the presentation, that would be great. We really appreciate you all coming again. And with that, I think I'm going to pass it over to Laura.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. An absolute pleasure to be here with you folks today online. Thank you, Erin, for starting us off. My name is Lara Parker. I'm one of the faculty here at the School of Health Sciences. I do teach with the critical care nursing program, but I was a component in the creation of this course. I do see lots of people still joining us, so I will talk a little slower. Hopefully people won't have to be caught up midway through. Thank you again for joining us all this evening. And as Erin said, please stay on mute. We'll have a chance to answer questions in the chat or verbally towards the end. So it is with my absolute greatest pleasure to introduce BCIT's newest micro-credential in the School of Health, NSIN 7,000. I'm losing my numbers at 5 o'clock in the evening. 7,110. Nursing in Canada, legal, ethical, and equity perspectives micro-credential. I would like to be very clear just before I dive into the overview of micro-credentials and the content of this course and who should be taking this course, that this course is an elective put on by BCIT. It is a micro-credential. This course does not gain you access into Canada as a nurse if you're coming to us from a different country at this time and joining this session. It is an elective course at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. If you're hoping to come to Canada to nurse or are already here and working your way through establishing your license, the process to become a nurse in Canada still requires you to go to our BCCNM, which is our British Columbia Regulation Board of Nurses, and to do their application process through there. This course is perhaps one of the recommended courses if you are required to do coursework after an assessment by the BCCNM. You might get suggested to do this work, but by doing this course does not gain you entry into Canada and the profession of nursing in BC. It might be a recommended course that you can take, but does not. It is a great course if you are thinking of coming to Canada and want to know a little bit more about profession of nursing in Canada and specifically in British Columbia, then please, we welcome you to the course. We just want to be really clear that the expectation is if you do this course, it does not give you licensure in the province of BC to practice as a nurse. So having said that, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this course and what it is. It is what we call a microcredential. And a microcredential, in this particular case, it is a standalone single course that you can take. Microcredentials are designed, just as this slide says, as a short, sometimes stackable, sometimes transferable learning opportunity. And we really use it in the context here of this course as for reskilling or upskilling. So many of the international educated nurses that come to us are so well trained and so well educated. And so this is an extra course to upskill you for coming into Canada and getting familiar with the legal, ethical, and equity perspectives in the province of British Columbia, Canada. So we have all sorts of different microcredentials here at BCIT. And I think the bold point at the very bottom of the slide is the most important. This is what's considered a badged microcredential course. It means it's a standalone. It doesn't mean you have to do any others. It sits by itself. It is a 3-credit course here at BCIT. And with that, with the microcredentials, you get a virtual credential. Some other microcredentials are a combination of badged courses or these standalone courses, but this particular course is a standalone course. When you complete the course, to get a little ahead of ourselves, you receive a digital certificate, which is a wonderful tool or document to share on your resume or any other kind of digital Facebook situation, or if you have a digital portfolio. As this is a standalone badge course, it receives what you see on the left-hand side, which is the eagle emblem, which occurs upon completion and quick application through a facility we call Canvas Credentials. So I'd like to move from talking a little bit of microcredentials, which is what this is course, to about nursing in Canada and the purpose of this course. So this course is for any internationally educated nurse transitioning to practice in BC, Canada. It can also be used if you're interested in nursing about BC, Canada, or if you're a registered nurse in the province of BC, Canada, and you're not an internationally nurse and you're interested in some of the concepts within the course. The entry requirement for this course is being a registered nurse. It provides foundational knowledge needed to thrive as an RN in BC. Just scrolling through my slides here. So some of the course content that will be covered in this course, if you're deciding, is this the course for me? Is this what I should be taking? So this course will give you an overview of regulation of nursing practice in Canada in a broad sense. It will then focus down more on British Columbia. So the roles of BC College of Nurses and Midwives. That's the BCCNM regulatory body in the province of British Columbia, regulating, as you can see, nurses and midwives. So again, if you're an international nurse just coming to BC to practice, BCCNM provides an assessment through a company Inspire, and through that process, we'll decide sometimes if you need to do extra coursework. This course is specifically designed so that if you need to do extra coursework, BCCNM might recommend that you do this course. It explores professional standards, scope of practice. As well, it's going to dive into ethics. It's going to look at equity-oriented care. It's going to look at gender diversity and inclusivity and trauma and violence-informed care, and as well explore equity-deserving populations. That's in a broad sense in Canada, but again, we're focusing in on BC and BC practice. So it has a large and wide introductory level on all those concepts. Again, assisting you if you're an IEN coming to Canada and specifically British Columbia to get a full scope of the practice on those concepts in British Columbia. I'm doing my very best to concentrate. There's all sorts of activity of people coming in and out and the chat going on, so I'm trying to focus on my slides. So I apologize if I seem like, oh my goodness, there's a lot going on. So those are the course content topics covered. The next question they might be asking is, well, how can I take this course and how is it delivered? Is it going to work if I'm already working here, or needing to flex around other lifestyle components. We all sometimes have very busy lives. So one of the great things about this course is that you can start at any time. The day that you register is the day you start. The course opened officially actually today, and on the BCIT website, you can register and begin the coursework at any time. So I think that's a really flexible, we designed that really purposeful so that it would be flexible to the learners who might be needing to take this course. You do have 12 weeks to complete the course. It is considered a part-time course, so if you are working full-time or doing other coursework required, perhaps by BCCNM or by your health authority, or if you're in the process of doing your application work to come to Canada, it allows all that flexibility. It's considered asynchronous. And for those of you who don't maybe know what that means, it just means that we won't have a meeting every Thursday, let's say, to teach the class between 9 and 12. It's fully self-driven and asynchronous, so you can learn it at your own time and on your own schedule. You just need to do all the work within a 12-week period. There's module reading in it, and then quizzes within the course that are self-marked, as well as, and I think a great component is we do have a virtual clinical. We had some great actors come about, and we have 2 virtual clinicals within one of the modules that expose you to a lot of the unique challenges that might exist in the province of BC and some of the patient populations that we work with. So some exciting content within the course. And a very flexible delivery to match with learners' needs of who and when and where you can take it. So asynchronous, 12 weeks to complete, kind of a part-time studies. So why would you take this course? 1, to assist in your transition to RN practice in Canada. So if you're thinking of coming to Canada, it's another course to introduce you to some of the concepts if you're entertaining that idea of coming to beautiful British Columbia. If you have already started to go through the process with BCCNM, the regulatory body, and they have recommended coursework, specifically this course, they might have recommended this course. It is now open and you can take it. It's a great way to learn about RN practice in Canada and BC. Again, providing that preparation on some of the components that I talked about. And again, as I said, it might be a requested course that you must complete based on your BCCNN assessment. So is the Nursing in Canada Microcredential course for you? So are you interested to work as a practicing registered nurse in British Columbia and are new to the country? It's a great course to take. Already practicing, but still new to Canada and want to learn a little bit more? Great course to take. Curious if you're practicing safely, ethically, and within your scope when working? It's a great course to explore those concepts in and see how you line up. Curious about the unique populations and peoples of Canada and specifically about British Columbia? It's a great course to take. Wanting to get credentials to strengthen your professional portfolio? Perhaps you're already here and working. You could have that digital emblem, that microcredential badge course as part of your digital portfolio. And again, it really relates to wanting to upskill or learn in a short time or a bite-sized component. This is a great microcredential course to provide the information that I discussed that this course content covers. Entrance requirements is to be a registered nurse, whether inside or outside of Canada. And the course is delivered in English, so to be able to read and complete the coursework in English. So a very brief overview, very quick information. That's the fast and furious, really, of the course. I'd like to share, and within our course, I think, which is lovely, we have had 2 IENs who recently transitioned. One was fairly recent to British Columbia, and one had actually done the transition about 20 years ago. And they both shared tidbits throughout the course. And I just want to read out loud this lovely tidbit. This is from the nurse who did transition of 18 years ago or so. So if you can indulge me, it says, as someone who has walked this path before you, I wanted to extend a warm welcome to each of you. I remember stepping into the IEN journey with a mix of excitement and uncertainty, eager to learn, yet unsure of what lay ahead. This course is a fantastic opportunity to deepen your knowledge about the Canadian healthcare system, and I assure you, there's so much to gain. You'll find yourself in a supportive environment that not only challenges you, but also encourages you every step of the way. Let's get started on this exciting journey together. So this individual helped and took a look and had an idea of the course and wanted to help and share and be part of the community of IENs that potentially might take this course. So she shows up through each module with some tidbits. As well, in the School of Health, our Associate Dean of Specialty Nursing, which is where this course falls under, had a message to send. This microcredential empowers internationally educated nurses to confidently transition into practice in beautiful Canada and British Columbia. Transitioning to nursing practice in a new country can be challenging. This course contents provides the essential tools for success, paving the way for smooth and rewarding transition to registered nursing practice. Again, this is one course very specific to nursing, the scope of practice, the ethics, some of the legal components, and the diverse populations. There are other courses that the BCCNM might require you to take in regards to clinical practice, clinical decision making. This is just the one at this time offered at at BCIT. As well, just to say, if you are interested in coming to Canada, or maybe you already have your license in Canada, great course to take. As well, we also have at BCIT some specialty nursing courses. And just like to point those out, as well as the ones, if you come to BCIT and take this course, and depending on what perhaps your practice was in your international country that you're coming from, we do have other courses in specialty nursing, pediatrics, pediatric emergency, pediatric critical care, perinatal, perioperative, neonatal, critical care, emergency, high acuity, and nephrology. And in the province of BC, one of our unique situations is that a lot of nurses who want to train for the areas do come and take our specialty nursing programs at BCIT. So not the focus of this micro-credential, but just a little segue to say that if you do come and take this course, the International Nursing in Canada course, and you're interested in furthering your education into a specialty area, we do have those available as well. Admissions. Am I sending this back to you, Erin, or should I just continue on?
Your choice, really.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll just continue on. Please correct me if I missed anything, Erin.
I'll jump in when I need to.
Okay, so admissions here, the application process. So as I mentioned earlier, ongoing continuous entry. So you can start anytime. The course did open today if you're interested in registering for it. You can apply online at bcit.ca/apply. As well, Erin has kindly put the link to the course into the chat and you can access it there. And obviously, if you've met the prerequisite, which is to be a registered nurse, whether in your home country and or in Canada, or perhaps BCCNM has recommended this course. Once you start the course, the day of registration is the day you start the course, and you do have the 12 weeks. Let me just see. I'm sure there's stuff I've missed here. If you need to connect with us, I think Erin's email was on the original advertisement, and then as well, there's my email. And then as well, we also have here this evening is the course tutor, Jan Morrison, and also the course writer. Jan Morrison shows she's available too, and that is her email, and she will be the course tutor. So if you choose to register in this wonderful course, you'll be hearing from Jan quite a bit. And as well, connecting with us here at BCIT, there's telephone advising if you had questions, there's drop-in advising, and there's email there for program advising at bcit.ca. I don't usually talk that slide, so that's new concepts to me, Erin. Hopefully I covered all that piece. Yeah. And lots of information of how to, I'll let you maybe, Erin.
Yeah, I mean, backing up to program advising, I just want to add that program advisors at BCIT kind of know all of our programs at BCIT, whether it's School of Health or other programs, but they're a wealth of information. So if you have questions about how your international transcripts line up or kind of what options are available for you at BCIT, they can definitely help you out and assist you. So you can give them a call or send them an email. Since you now know a tiny bit about BCIT, or maybe more than you did before, we'd love it if you could give us a follow on social media. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and actually TikTok now as well. And it's a great way to kind of see what BCIT is about, what students at BCIT do, and what our interests and passions are here at BCIT. And you can certainly learn more about attending other info sessions as well. And with that, I'm going to ask that if anybody has any questions, if you could find the chat feature on your screen and type in any of your questions in the chat. We do have about 80 people in the room here, or in the virtual room here. So I'm sure that there are definitely some questions. So somebody says they can't see the course link. It was pasted into the chat. So it was just above your comment there, Priya. bcit.ca/courses/nursing in Canada, and Jessica is posting it again for you. But that is where you are going to find registration for this course. So if you want to sign up, if we've captured your interest tonight, you want to register, that's where you do so. It's right at that link.
Questions specific to BCCNM and their assessment process or Inspire process is not something that I'm able to answer. We work in partnership with BCCNM, but we have nothing to do with the assessments and how long it takes them. We're not part of the regulatory body at all. We're a separate institution. So any questions regarded to BCCNM and how long it takes them to finish their assessment, I'm sorry, I cannot answer that. This course, if you are assessed by Inspire and BCCNM and they do recommend you do coursework, this would be one of the options for this Nursing in Canada or nursing professional course.
Okay, we've got some other questions here. Hoda is asking if there are other programs for nursing at BCIT. Yes, we have a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, which is a 3-year Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree, and that would be your RN. So once you graduate from the BSN program and pass the NCLEX exam, you would be a registered nurse and able to work anywhere in Canada. So yes, we also do have our Bachelor of Science in Nursing program and that is specifically for people with PR or citizenship. Ravinder's asking, as an RN in Nova Scotia, can you take a specialty at BCIT? Yes, you certainly can. The specialty courses are open to nurses across Canada. So yes, if you're certified as an RN in Nova Scotia, you certainly can look at a specialty at BCIT. How much does this course cost, Laura? Do you know off the top of your head?
I'm trying to think out loud here.
I found it. It's $944.28.
Yeah. However, we do have for the first 15 learners, I believe there is a 50% off for the first 15 learners who register.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Okay,
it is a good deal. Yeah. Can I study, Danica, can I study specialty in nursing even? I'm not an RN here, but an RN in another country. You can always contact the specialty. All the websites are up at the BCIT page. You can always contact the specialty and speak to the specialties program assistant. So yes, typically we have had international people, learners take the courses, and sometimes the trick is sometimes the clinical courses to have to do them here in BC. But I would reach out to the specialty that you're interested in and start to have that conversation, because certainly the theoretical courses you can attend. Is the length of the course the same, regardless of the nursing specialty we want to take? Each of the specialty nursing programs are a little different, and BCIT is run on a credit structure. So for example, this specific IEN microcredential course is 3 credits, though specialty programs are they're a specialty program. So critical care nursing program is 27 credits. The emergency nursing program is 24 credits. The high acuity program, 24 credits. So depending on the length and credits, each course is a little bit different, but they are a full program. I hope that answered that question. Hi everyone. I'm just going to maybe answer Giselle's. Thank you for that question. Hi everyone. Thank you for this session today. Thank you. I'd like to know what my job application options are after taking this course. Could we work in healthcare? No, this course, thank you so much for that question and for clarifying. This course would not give you access to working as a healthcare individual in Canada. This is information about working as a registered nurse in Canada in the province of British Columbia. And the prerequisite is that you are already a registered nurse. This course, as a standalone course, would not allow you to apply or qualify you to apply for any healthcare roles, if that makes sense. It's an upskilling of a credential that you already have, if that makes sense. Great question. I thank you for asking it.
Do you want to continue on, Laura? There's a few more.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling my way through the chat.
There's this, I know, I'm scrolling through too.
Yeah, okay. Yvette has said, for a newcomer nurse who has passed the assessment under Inspire, okay, congratulations, and is doing TPE, transitional practice experience, what are the courses that you suggest to take that you offer? Yvette, thank you for your question. Great question. At this time, and I'm not sure, I think you're specifically asking is just about practice and not about specialty nursing. This is the only international educated nursing in Canada course that BCIT has at this time for that scope. So I'm not sure if you're asking about specialty nursing courses. That is a separate context. And again, BCIT website has all the information about the specialty education courses. So at this moment, I don't know of other courses that I would recommend. I'm sure perhaps other educational institutes have some, but this is the one specific to BCIT that is being offered. Not to say that maybe in future we won't work on more, but at this time, this is the one that we have and recommend.
And I think it's a similar answer to the next question about do we have any courses that help in clinical skills for international educated nurses? That
Not
we
yet.
do not at this time, but I believe there are other institutions that do. Should we have them check with the BCCNM on that though?
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. Touch base with BCCNM, who also, if you are assessed by Inspire BCCNM, they would recommend wear it. There are a few other PSIs who have it, or at least one that I know of. We're considering it, but we're not there yet. This is our first foray into a world that we really would like to support. So at the moment, no, we don't have one.
That being said, we have been running our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or previously our Diploma in Nursing program, since the 1960s at BCIT. So we're not new to the world of nursing, just new to the world of internationally educated nurses.
Correct. Thank you. Yeah, Erin, that's right. Yeah. Rajinder, do I need any requisition or can I do it straight? I'm assuming perhaps that you mean, do you need a prereq? You do need to be a registered nurse. That's a prereq. Is that what we're asking here?
And I'm going to move back to is because we do also require that you have the English language skills because this is taught in English. So as long as you can comprehend and complete the course in English, we don't ask for proof of that, though, do we, beforehand?
No.
No, we do not.
That's correct. Yeah.
Because I think there's a question later on about that further down here.
Okay. Now this next question, Sonia, I've already done, there's a lot of acronyms there, and I'm just trying to unpack them a little bit. I've done HCA with BCIT. I'm a registered nurse with Alberta, but I have not practiced in Alberta at all. I'm already in the process of BCCNM, and they already recommended SLA and CBA, which I apologize. I don't know what that is. My question is if there is any program to complete SLA or CBA. Sonia, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to answer that. That's a question that I think you're going to have to go back to BCCNM about, because I actually don't know what those acronyms are, so I'm not able to help you.
Okay, and the next question is, do we need endorsement from BCCNM or Inspire first? No, you do not. You can just go ahead and register for this course. And as mentioned, you do need to be able to read and complete a course in English, but there's no specific English prerequisite course. So we're not going to check and see what your English level is. We don't ask for proof of English competency. Laura, can you go into more what the benefits of this course are?
Yeah,
want to
sure.
mention?
Yeah, I see that question. Yeah. Well, I think the benefits are amazing. So again, the entire design was to support internationally educated nurses who have great skill from the country they're coming from and coming into kind of a new world of nursing in British Columbia. Every country has different rules, legal requirements, ethical practice, scope of practice. And so this course, the benefits of taking this is it's going to introduce you to those concepts, whether you're already working here, thinking of coming here, or doing perhaps your BCCNM assessment and they recommend it. So understanding kind of the ethical components here in the practice of British Columbia, it might look a lot different than from your home country. Legal requirements, again, might look a lot different. Our scope of practice, how we communicate, how we have a little bit more autonomy in the role might be very different than your home country. So good to take a course and understand that. As well, we have this virtual clinical. So we literally have 2 movies with questions within them, displaying a clinical setting and working with sometimes with marginalized populations. And so a little bit about communication occurs in there. We also link a lot to BCCNM websites and the annual registration requirements, the professional documentation that you need to do. So it sets you up for success for as smooth a transition as you can make to coming to British Columbia. So it's an introductory course really to the profession of nursing in Canada and specific to British Columbia. So I think there's lots of benefits.
Okay. Following down the list here with a few other questions I've already answered. Carmen wanted to know, is it delivered online? Yes, it is. This is delivered fully online. So you do not need to be a resident of BC at the moment to take this course. You can be from outside BC as well. We do not require that you come to campus at all at our Burnaby location. It's fully online. Do this from where you are. Do I need a BCCNM assessment before I take this course? No, you do not. So you can go ahead and register for the course without an assessment before you plan on contacting them or in the midst of your contacting them. You can do this without contacting them first. Oh, and there was some sorry, I'm just trying to read and speak at the same time, which is a little difficult. Aline was clarifying for us that CLA and CBA that were mentioned earlier by the person from Alberta are the written and practical assessments from Inspire. There stands for computer-based assessment and simulation lab assessment.
Okay.
Now we know.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. I know Inspire has like 3 assessment areas that they work on. So, and they've been changing that. So. What certificate do we get after? Maybe I'll answer that question if that's
Yeah.
okay. So there isn't a certificate necessarily. There's a digital badge of completion. And that's just at the beginning of the slide deck here. We talked a little bit about there's an emblem that you get that is digital. And the beauty of the digital badge is that you can put it on your Facebook page, or if you have a digital portfolio as well, it does go on the transcript. So BCIT, it would be on your transcript if you needed to identify that you had completed the course. I think that actually probably sums it up. Yeah, there isn't, but there isn't like a Bachelor of Science certificate or anything. It's a standalone individual course.
Will BCIT be offering bridging courses for IENs in the future? We really don't know. That is, I know there's a lot of demand, and definitely with the registration numbers for this tonight's session, we saw that there is a lot of demand out there. A lot of internationally educated nurses who would love to work in Canada, and we know that that's out there. But it's a big conversation for us to look at doing that. So.
It's being
no
discussed,
answer for
but
you
no,
yet.
yeah, no answer.
No answer yet. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, Sonia, I just saw your note saying your question was not answered yet, and I'm going back up trying to find the original question.
I think Sonia
question
was. Yes, the registered nurse with Alberta.
Right. I'm already in the process of BCM, and they already recommended SLA and CBA. My question is there any program to complete SLA or CBA? Again, yeah, I'm not able to answer that now, knowing what that is. We do not have a program. The only international educated nurse course that we have at this time is the one that we're discussing here tonight. So I would recommend going back to BCCNM. If they're in the process of doing your assessment, they would recommend where and if you need to do any coursework for those.
Exactly. And just reiterating for, I believe it's Primo, no, you do not need to miss work, take time out of your busy schedule for this course. This is a fully online, at your own pace, work on it during your own time course. So you do not need to attend weekly scheduled meetings. You can do this at 2 a.m. if you want, or you can do it at 9 a.m. Whatever kind of works with your schedule. There's no set time period for this. So no, you do not need to miss work. Laura, is there anything we've forgotten to add in tonight?
I don't think so. I hope we've covered it all. Lots of great questions and
And I
information.
know that when you registered for this info session, you most likely saw my email address. That's health@bcit.ca. So that's one email to contact us at, but you're also, again, welcome to connect after this session with Laura or Jan, and their emails are there on the screen right now. Again, I know when I go to these things, I often think of questions later that I should have asked, or I'm not ready to ask my questions in a public forum. So you're more than welcome to email us and connect with us offline as well. There's no more other questions. I'm going to end it there. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you taking some time out to spend with us this evening and learn about this exciting new microcredential.